blindness is, I mean, everyone has stuff that they have to live with, you know, one way or another. If you talk to anyone for more than 30 minutes, you'll probably find that they've got something you're glad you don't have. You know, I walk into a few more posts than the average guy, and you know, there are practical difficulties, and the good thing about blindness is that it does make you think about things like dependency, because obviously blind people get very exercised about dependency and how dependent they are, and whether they're in fact supremely incompetent, and whether they're in fact any use to society at all. And you know, and like everything else, you know, everything's worse when you're in a bad mood. So if you wake up, you know, you wake up some days and think you're an incompetent blind bastard, and some days you think it's great, you know. And in fact, overall, life has been tremendously good to me. You know, I've had a really interesting life. I can't think of, I mean, if I'd been sighted, if I'd been able to see, I would have been a completely different person anyway. So it's impossible to imagine what might have become of me had I been able to see. But certainly because of music, and because of the kind of opportunities I've had, I've been all over the world. I've been touring and stuff. And when you think that my parents were faced with the choice when I had a malignant cancer on both retinas at the age of 1, they had to decide, you know, well, you know, it's either going to, he's going to go, or we've got to take his eyes out. So basically, they chose that one. And if they hadn't taken that choice of having a totally blind child, all this stuff that's happened to me, and all this, you know, playing with all these famous people and people who think they're famous, and etc., would never have happened, you know. So I must say that I'm very, very fortunate. I had a very good education, and for that I'm grateful. And that's there's no, it's all such a game of roulette, really. Life. I mean, you can have all your 5 senses and have a completely terrible life. And so really it's as random as that. And all you can do is make the best of the hand you're dealt. And that's really all I've ever thought about what it's about. It's about, I think, overall, in religious terms, I think you get points for effort, basically. If you do the best with the hand you're dealt, that's all that can be expected of you. Give it your best shot, and if they don't like it, delete obscenity. You know, I find lots of people a lot younger than me have this enormous chip on their shoulder about, well, you know, sure, but there's a, I mean, even you know, it's all a question of degree, isn't it? I mean, even anyone living in England is better off than just about anyone living in Syria right now. So there you go, make the best of it.